Why did no one tell me that breaking up with someone who hasn't necessarily done anything wrong to you is literally the hardest thing in the world? Because I just broke up with my boyfriend of 5 years because I just feel like we're not on the same page anymore. And honestly, like, I would never make a video like this, but I genuinely feel like this is such a finalized decision. And I did this like maybe like almost 2 weeks ago now, but like, I just know that this is such a final decision and I'm never going to go back, that I feel like I am safe enough to talk about it. So we've been dating for 5 years, and honestly, I have nothing but good things to say about him. But obviously, we had our trials and tribulations throughout the relationship because, again, we were together for 5 years. But during the 5 years that we were together, when we first started dating, we both started in the same place. So it naturally, like, I don't know, like, we were having fun. It was a lot of fun. But, like, within 5 years, I grew so much. And I don't want to say he didn't grow at all, but he just hasn't really progressed as far as I have in the 5 years that I have. And it's not because he's not capable of doing and moving fast, but it's because he doesn't apply himself to the fullest.
So you saw parts of the video. That first part is basically an allusion to the fact that the guy that she's with is not earning enough money. She, in the relationship, has managed to progress in terms of her financial standing, and he hasn't. So basically, when they were together, they were at the same level financially. And now, I'm sure maybe within the third or fourth year, maybe, her money started increasing, and now she's like, look, I need to go. So she's basically basing her decision of being, out of this relationship based on the fact that he hasn't earned enough money. That's basically the net end of this assessment here. So it looks like it's something that she was looking at herself thinking, okay, once I've got this position, are you looking to do something for yourself as well in terms of increasing your options financially? And it looks like she's just chosen strictly to say, you know what, I want the money, and I want you to also increase your chances of earning. Because if he was earning a certain amount, there will probably be no issue. Because if you see the rest of the video, which I'm going to play, there was no allusion to his character being anything that was untoward in any kind of, way that could be, a threat to her. But it was mainly around the fact that he hasn't earned enough money. So I'll play another part of the video as well, where she's actually alluding to a bit more information about her and her ex-boyfriend.
And I just feel like, coming from an immigrant background, I just feel like I would be doing my parents such a disservice to really commit my life to someone who does not apply themselves 110%. And honestly, I sat on this decision for so long. I'm like going back and forth between, do I stay with him? Do I not? Like, he's still such a kind person, and like I can see that potential, but it comes to a point that, like, when is potential not going to be enough? How long can you rely on potential? Because eventually potential is not going to be enough. And also, I had to remind myself that someone being kind to me and being nice to me and, treating me like a decent human being is the bare minimum. Like, you should be a nice human being to your partner, duh. But like, again, like, I'm almost 30. I want more from life. Like,
yeah, you want more money. That's what you want from life, more money. But that's fine. If that's what you want, I have to look at it and think, what were you looking at him like before? How were you looking at him before when you were with him? Did you assess his character in terms of how he was as a person? Because it seems you did. But if now his character is still the same, good person, treats you well, but the money is not there, why was it okay for you to be with him at that time? Is it only now you're basing who he is off the money? Because the change you're attributing to where you are now in your life is based on the money. So that's what's made you want to say he's not good enough anymore because he's stagnant. No, you mean because he's not making enough money like you. But him working, him doing what's required in terms of if he's working and he's not happy, for example, then that's a person that's stagnant. Like he's in a position and he's not happy. But if he's working and he's happy and he also treats you right and he's also should be contributing. And I'm not saying just this person, because this person you're well within your rights to leave. But I'm just saying in general, taking this example, if there's a person that is working and doing what's required, but he's happy and you earn more over the time, is there a discrepancy there with someone like that? But if his character was assessed when you got into the relationship with him, why now is he not good enough? Is it just the money? And it seems it's just the money that's basing it off that. Because let's play more of the video and it will allude to aspects that show that it is mainly about the money. And again, if you want it, fine, but you have to just state it, because men know that if they have money, that's generally a door opener, depending on the person's, nature and moral compass and everything, if it aligns with the woman. But with this one, it looks like the character and everything is aligning, but the money is not aligning. Yes, you may have made a mistake, and yes, you may have learned in your eyes maybe of being with this person for a long period. And also, I would say 5 years, to be honest. If you're looking for a relationship that involves marriage, yeah, you should be dipping. You should be leaving. But the point is, it's just about the character aspect. You accepted the character and everything he was, but as soon as you started earning money, now the character potentially is in question, because he's not earning money and you classify that as stagnation. He's not earning more money. That's my only point. It's like, I thought you will assess that back then, how the person thinks, what the person, is about, when it comes to certain aspects. But let me play the video.
I want to do more. I want to start a family. Like, I want to have conversations that are not, hey, when are you going to take your life a little bit more seriously?
In his eyes, he takes his life seriously. In his eyes, but you don't believe he is. I'm sure in his eyes, because you haven't alluded to the fact that he's not happy in what he's doing. But when are you going to take your life seriously? That's what you want all of a sudden, right? If you want kids and he doesn't want kids, fine. If you want marriage and he doesn't want it, fine. But if he wanted it, and another scenario I'm going to bring, if he wanted it, and on top of that, he feels his life is where it's at and he's cool with it, why is it that he's not taking his life seriously to you when he could be content with the fact that he's still able to do what's required outside of maybe his work life? It's just basically me assessing these things and saying that it's vital that you don't waste, men and women don't waste time, because if you're not assessing certain aspects of somebody and then letting it drag on for so long, you have to get to a point where you have to learn from stuff like this, because of the fact that you've assessed somebody, you've accepted everything that was about this person. But now, as soon as conversation about, I've now maybe moved on in terms of my financial standing, this person is now not enough, so I need to leave. But the classification of, isn't he taking his life seriously, has been applied to him, when he could be saying, I am taking my life seriously. I am happy doing what I'm doing. But it's just that you're not. So now you've garnered me incapable. You've garnered me not good enough because of my money. Now, I'm not saying a guy should go into a relationship with no funds or no sufficient funds, or not being able to manage and maintain and potentially sustain and have a kid and have family and do what's required. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, if he is content and happy with what he's doing, why is he now deemed a person that is not taking his life seriously? If you're working and you've increased your salary, does that mean he is still an incapable person? If you want a lifestyle now, because before you didn't have it and now you just want it for hopefully the right reasons, then again, make your assessment. But it's just about making assessments properly. So these kinds of instances of just being in environments that waste time is something that you should look at.
So it's like, it's just hard. And like, we've had these conversations so many times throughout the relationship. So it's not like it just one day I woke up and decided to walk out. No, like, I honestly tried to be as patient as possible. I have given it every single breath that I could before it got to a point where I just really became unhappy. Like, just picturing the future didn't feel very promising. Like, yeah, you're saying you can do XYZ, and then every time you do XYZ, you're doing it for 2 to 3 weeks, but there's no actual progress that, like, it's like you're only showing out for me. It's like performative almost in a sense. So I don't know. Like,
Well, she did now allude to the fact that he's had a few opportunities, maybe some job opportunities, maybe a business attempt that he's tried, and he doesn't stick with it, according to her. But that's where you have to be, in my opinion, the assistance to what he is doing, right? At the end of the day, you have a choice. You've made it. And like I said, let me make this clear. You don't have to stay. You don't have to do anything, right? You don't want to. When it comes down to it, he is in a position that it seems he's good. You don't want good. You want more and more. Okay. But you're saying that it looks like he is in a position where he doesn't have to do more. He doesn't have to do. But should that always be a damning verdict on someone? If they are able to take care of what they need to take care of. Now, I'm going to play another video. And this one is the response, like I said earlier, about somebody responding to a commenter under this lady's comments. And she gives her opinion. And I'm going to dissect that as well.
And I can't speak for her, but I can speak for myself, for someone that was in a similar situation. And I wasn't with the person for 5 years. It was much, much shorter than that. Money does play a factor, but I think it's more about the character. And when she said that he was comfortable, I said, damn, that does hit. Because if you're a Nepo baby or you're a person that has money, you know, you have a little bit of room to be comfortable because you know that you have access to resources to do the things that you need to do. So let's just say your dad is a director. You know what I'm saying? You want to be an actor, an actress. It's different for you because you have the resources to go out at any time to do so, right? Versus people like the majority of people, because I don't know why he said Nepo baby. The majority of us who are average or just regular working people do not have those. So you really can't afford to be comfortable in this life. And there were a couple moments in my personal relationship, which I will not indulge in too much, where I felt like this wasn't going to work for me because I needed someone who had the characteristics of a go-getter. I needed someone who had the characteristics that cared for themselves, not even just for me, cared for themselves and wanted more out of life. And that goes down to who that person's character, what are their morals, what are their values, how do they see their life.
If somebody is in a relationship and again, they're not happy doing what they're doing, someone else cannot tell them what they should do. It's only on their own accord, right? And then obviously you're allowed to make your decision if you want to accept what that person's decision is. But when it comes to this person saying it's about morals, it's about characteristics, and it's about caring for your life. If somebody is in a position, like I said, that's content and happy with it, he's comfortable in it. This frowning, in my opinion, in society about somebody saying that they are comfortable doing what they're doing, you're suggesting, and it's suggesting that this person is just lazy. Like this person doesn't want to be more than, you know, in ways that you think this person should be more. If this person is able to fund his life or her life, do what's required to maintain, why don't they care about their life, you say? Why is that a sign that they don't care? Just because the notion in this world is that you have to get more and more and more. And again, if you want more for the right reasons, I'm not saying don't do things and try and maximize. For somebody to be looked at and given this verdict of he should want to care about his life, I'm just trying to make it logical that that does not mean completely that he is not caring for his life, unless, like I said, he is making it clear he's not happy. That's different. Someone may say, I don't want to do the rat race. Like I said earlier, I don't want to go and do the typical. It doesn't mean I'm shirking responsibility. And if he was, that's different. You equating money to characteristics, it doesn't completely intertwine, in my opinion. He could have a good character, But it doesn't mean he wants to earn more and more and more money. That doesn't mean it's a damning verdict on his character, because that's what it's alluding to state, don't you want more from your life?
This video wasn't really for her. It was for the guy that was saying that it's just about money. And while I think money is important, money doesn't take away from a person's character, who they are. If you're a lazy piece of shit with money, you're going to be a lazy piece of shit without it. If you're lazy with money, you're not going to want to help me when the babies come. You're not going to want to do certain stuff. So we have to look at the character.
Why would you not want to help with the baby? What's that got to do with not getting more money? So the fact that if you were not to do anything with the kids, or you're going to be lazy with the kids, or you may be lazy doing things around the home, I don't believe that has nothing to do with it. If you don't earn a certain amount of money that a woman wants, fine, that's one thing. That doesn't necessarily correlate that he won't now do things around the home. He will be lazy in other areas. No, you could just be bad in other areas because you're bad in other areas. But then you have to vet the person you're with. So again, it's more of a justification that you want the money. And we're clear on this. But it's just sometimes when you allude in other areas to why you're not happy, or you're going to leave, or you want to do something else, or when women sometimes do that, just say it as it is, because men generally are at a point where they understand these things. They know that you look at the money generally first and hope the character matches the money. But the responses suggest, like I say, from the first woman and the second, is that I left, or I need to go because he is not earning enough money. But you cloud it with all the words of characteristics and morals and, don't you take your life seriously? It's all about, why aren't you earning more? So it was just to make it clear, bring some clarity to this, and just for, let me bring this to the conversation. But it will be interesting to find out what people think. Please like the video and let me know what you think about the assessment. Again, everyone can make their own decision, but I thought I'll bring some logic and some, realism about what it is. We know what it is. You want the money, but at the same time, just keep it a buck, keep it 100, and keep it real about what it is. Because men who are smart know what it is.